Ja Morant.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you think he's the next big player in the NBA?
Yeah, he's a stud. But we knew that coming into the draft. It was him and Zion. The way they played the game, you can tell it was going to go to the next level.
But Zion seems like he didn't really get to where he's supposed to be. I guess there was the injuries in the beginning, but I just don't hear very much about him.
Yeah, because one, he's in Pelicans, one, he's injured. He missed a whole year. So, like the NBA, they move on. They move on until he can get himself back into that spotlight. But once he does, that whole hype is going to come back.
Right, because the buzz was crazy when he was like, this is the next Jordan, the next LeBron. This guy's going to change basketball. Then injured, sitting it out.
And I've seen it. I've seen it early.
Really?
Yeah, when they were talking about, he's 285, 290. He's bigger than almost every player in the NBA. And I'm like, when has that ever been a good thing? Being big.
Being tall, but not being bulky.
Big, like you're that big and you're only 19. What happens when you get older and weight naturally just catches up?
Because he seemed a little overweight, honestly. When I looked at him, he seemed a bit chubby, for a basketball player.
That's it. When he came back from the Duke, when that Duke injury when his shoe split, he was about 310.
Sheesh.
They didn't say anything, but
how tall is he?
He was 6'6", 6'7".
310.
Oh no, he was big.
Wow.
Like he was like. But you got to remember, it's also lifting for the first time. So if he has that natural football body. So if he looks at weight, he's going to gain. If he looks at a weight, he's going to gain weight.
Mm-hmm.
So we seen him in preseason. Like he looked kind of big on that sideline. But if you took off his shirt, it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean he was built.
It was just built. It was just all muscle. So he has to lose a lot of. And that's what I said. I said if he became a a shooting guard in the NBA, he will have a GOAT-like career because that means he's going to be sitting around 230, 235, and he's going to be Dwayne Wade-like.
Okay, I could see that.
Dwayne Wade didn't need to shoot when he first got in because he was faster, stronger, more explosive than everybody. That is Zion. You just got to lose all that weight, and from there, you just come downhill.
What do you think of Ja Morant's dad?
He
said, called out his son, said he was playing like trash.
As long as his father's like that, then Ja Morant can't fail.
I mean, people comparing him to LeVar Ball a little bit. The dad.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. It's a thing.
I
wouldn't necessarily. I mean, people really got on LeVar, but I'm like, yo, he's going 3 sons in the NBA. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
I thought, LeVar Ball did an amazing job. I mean,
I agree.
When you talk about parenting, you're talking about positivity. If you look at Serena Williams, the King Richard movie, positivity. Mm-hmm. You might not like him as a person, but when it comes to him and the kids, it's positive reinforcement. Do not tell my daughter she can't do this. Do not question her thought process. Like, that's the same thing. What do you mean? Zoe can beat people with his shoes off. So, that's how he spoke. So when you hear that as a child, I can do anything because my father said I can. Same thing with Ja Morant's. He had a horrible game. He had a horrible series.
Mm-hmm.
What does that tell Ja? You won that series playing bad. What happens when you have a normal Ja Morant? Now look at him. Because, that's what I said, as long as his father sounds like that, then Ja Morant's going to always look for improvement because his father's going to be hard to satisfy. Knowing if you look at the way the two act, they act like brothers.
Right. And you have your own daughter who's now really gearing up.
Mm-hmm.
You think she's going to make it to the WNBA?
Who knows?
Is that the plan?
The plan is wherever she wants. If she wants to, make it that far, it's like, well, every year you're going to have to train a little bit harder. You got to push yourself. This ain't something you say, oh, I want to be a WNBA player, and then you go to the WNBA. You're like, that's not how that works.